Good morning, Michelle. How are you doing today? Good morning. Good morning. Pretty decent. Nope. Michigan. Today we had a bit of a different schedule. Obviously, we didn't get up. Well, I was up, but get back to normal things in a couple days here. I think I played that flute and the signal went somewhere. Look, I'll show you what I'm looking at. Love you, bro. Just the clouds. Yeah, I'm usually never outside. Well, at least filming anyways. Check out this stuff. Let's see, I hope the signal doesn't drop when I put the phone back here. We're gonna see though. The philosophical texture of denim cannot coexist with the unlicensed thunder unless the mirrors have been properly domesticated. Hello, believe love. Yeah. The nature is definitely healing, definitely nice. It's pretty chill. We're asking how's the weather. The weather is pretty cold. Though I stepped outside earlier, kind of to test the weather where I am, and uh, and the birds they started going off, and I went inside, and they were like, "Yo, where did you go back outside?" so so now I'm looking at like cranes and little birds, and I don't know if that's a crane. I don't know, but ducks. So I got a joke for you. There's this guy, and he learns how to create man from nothing. He's a scientist, and he learns how to create a living man, and the world is in celebration. And God God shows up, and he knocks on the door and of the scientists, and the scientists open up, and it's like, "God, I can create man like you." And God goes, "Oh yeah, show me." So the scientist real eagerly goes, gets a bunch of his stuff, he puts it on the table and whatnot, and for he reaches for a handful of dirt to start the process. And God goes, get your own dirt." There we go. But yeah, I figured, regardless of it being a little chilly, might as well come out and let's see. There we go. Sorry for the bad reception from time to time. Getting some pretty cruddy reception, so we'll see if it works out where it is right here. But I was able to come to this area is pretty nice. Just for a little like couple day little getaway from the normal spot. It's interesting how, oh my goodness, boom, check that crane out. Oh my gosh. What a, oh my gosh. Some things are not meant for the camera. That's all I have to say. Wow. It's like crane flew up like, I don't know, 20 feet, 30 feet away from me. And then flew off. That was pretty nice. It's pretty interesting. As if you can get a different angle than where the phone was. No, that's not going to work. Where I had the phone, which is more at eye level, was definitely losing reception regularly. It's kind of interesting because usually wherever I go, it's pretty close to civilization. It almost seems like a pocket of nature within the city. is pretty interesting. No, it's yeah, a little change of pace is always nice to have. It's interesting. A lot of people usually they have questions. Everybody's always asking questions, but in my mind, I find peace and calm. I've been through I've been through enough to not want to ask questions. Those guys are active. Clouds. Check out the clouds. The clouds are actually pretty decent. I think that one kind of looks like an elephant. It's ducks. I've always I don't know. Ducks are pretty cool. There's a lot in the world. People ask me a lot of times, what do I believe in? And the one thing I've put first and foremost in the most genuine of ways is love. Like, that seems like a cool path I could walk. Maybe take a walk in a little bit. But I followed like love and I followed goodness. And I've heard stories of people like living like, I'm not trying to like, you know, like pass like okay bad habits, but I've heard firsthand, like secondhand. It was like their mom, and then I've seen a story that was legit, and it was these people that lived into being like 100 years old, 100 plus years old, and they're still smoking cigarettes or drinking wine or doing whatever they do. And I believe it's the happiness and the peace that they find. I believe that's what allows them to live a long life. Kind of like the placebo effect, but the placebo effect of happiness. And it's important to like limit stuff and like have limits and not abuse things. But it's important not to deny yourself what you enjoy. You know? Responsibility is very important. It's like it's like I learned the lesson of being selfish. I learned that lesson, got that one down, like, right? And then I had to learn the lesson of being selfish for others. And like, how do you be selfish for others? Is I'd go into a house and they'd have dirty dishes or whatever, right? And I'd ask to wash those dishes and they'd tell me not to. And I get to the point where I just walk in, I wouldn't even ask, I just do the dishes. And sometimes people would legitimately get upset at me for doing a good deed. Like they get upset at me for doing the dishes. They get mad at me. I cause problems because their kids were supposed to wash the dishes, but they never did. Like, and so every night was a fight. And so I just washed the dishes so there was no fight. And I call that being selfish for the benefit of others. Like the good deed that I'm going to do is going to benefit a multitude of people, not just myself. And if somebody doesn't like that, if somebody thinks that what I'm doing is truly bad, then let it be and let me know that that's not my environment. That's just how I've been living. Just appreciate life at every angle that one can, to each their own. Each one has a background of circumstances that, heck, un, un, we start to open that can of worms of our own and it gets so tangled up, let alone trying to blame someone else or say someone else is wrong for something. Just knowing that every single life is a bit of a can of worms. Not that that's what they wanted. And I mean like problems. I don't mean like evil or nothing. I just mean, people just natural kind of problems, issues, things that they've been through in life. And when I started this journey, I had the Cadillac CTS 2006 paid off. I had the fine suit, religion, and all that. And I went and got some peasantry kind of stuff. Some like rags, practically. And that's what I wore. That's what I went to church in. And then I started letting my faults be seen for what they are, and letting people judge me as they saw fit. It wasn't my job to judge them. It wasn't my job to fight them. Never was. That was never the charge from God. God said, "Be my lamb and let people judge." Because when they do judge, that's when God sees them. That's when they light up on God's spectrum of sight. And then self-reflection kicks in. And I never had to speak a word. I just had to be seen. I just had to be present. And really, that's the hardest thing, is to walk out the door after you've been somewhere for days and months and you're comfortable. Then you take a journey and walk out the door and change life up. Transformation. Transformation is a very it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. But the shaman path, all of that kind of stuff, that's the reward, is peace. Just peace. Peace of mind, no longer wondering, known enough. I'll say this much, the truth is in front of you every single day. The truth that you need to hear, where you're learning, where your mind is, the experiences you're having, the people you're around, they're all teachers. And when you learn the lesson, you get to move on. Kind of like a video game. When you beat the level, you move on to the next level. You don't go backwards, you move forwards. I'll show you a reflection on the water that I'm looking at. So pretty. The clouds. Excuse me. Actually, that's pretty, water. The human body is 70% plus water. And water is very much like our emotions, our energy, our frequency. And the more still, the more calm we are, the better of a reflection that we get, the better of a view that we get of ourselves. Chaos distorts so much. There's one thing I would read and go over, and the words that were in there, something that pops up into my mind is those who are wed to their ire. They're they've they've entered a marriage with anger, with that sort of a heat. And so they court every day. And I don't know, somewhere in my past I said, that's not my flavor of life. Some other people, that's what they get out, that's what they like. Not me. And the more I realized, the more I just spent time by myself and with myself and realized what I like to think about and who I am and all that kind of fun stuff. It's easier. I was able to distinguish my own thoughts versus somebody else's ideas getting into me. I remember when I was a little kid and there'd be all the older gentlemen or all the ladies or whatnot, and they'd be telling stories. They'd have so many stories. It'd be cool to listen to. And I was young. I didn't have any stories. And nowadays, I was working at this metaphysical shop, and it was pretty amazing because I was able to create like a little inner sanctuary and do sound baths with my sound bowls. And I was really able to help people on a multitude of levels. I would make these little mojo bags, like little magic bags, little magic pouches. Like people would come in and they said they had a problem with something. And I'd make this little magic pouch with herbs and stones and stuff. And I remember this one time this lady comes back and she came months later and she had the bag with her and she said, "It's still working." And I was like, it's pretty amazing what two people can create, and like what the imagination can do and what one can see in this world. You could see anything you want to see. You could focus on all the bad or you could focus on all the good. There's so much life. There's so much good. And I truly believe what we focus on and what we concentrate on every single day, that's the fight. That's the struggle, is maintaining that focus of positivity. Yeah, the world's crashing. Yeah, people are unhappy, but that doesn't mean I have to join them. It doesn't mean I have to go down that way. I can help. I can do my best each and every day. And I'm not even concerned with it coming back around anymore. I'm not even concerned with that. That's been the last thing on my mind. There's this one movie and these two dudes, they were brothers and they would swim out, and one brother who was like genetically better, he was superior, he had all the favor in his corner, but every time it was just him and his brother, the underdog, the younger brother, the more the lesser one, if you will, he would win every time. He would be able to swim farther every time than the older brother, the one who should have done better. And at the end of the movie, the older brother, he says, "How do you do it? How do you do it? How do you swim farther every time?" And the younger brother, he says, I don't hold anything back for the return trip. He literally risks drowning to swim as far as he can. He doesn't look back. Like, he doesn't save energy for that return trip, is what I meant to say. You know, he exerts his energy and his force in the pursuit of whatever he's doing in that moment. And people in the world, they're always holding back. They're holding back because they have doubt or fear or their own personal whatever they have to work with. You know, when I talk about holding back, you know, it's like holding back the truth, holding back what's in your heart, holding back what you want to do, what's in your heart to do. And I'm not saying to be foolish or mean or ugly or anything like that, but in respect, when a situation is what it is and you feel the correct thing to do, like, you should do that correct thing. For me, most of the time, it means just leaving. Because once I stick around somewhere long enough, people get attuned to my energy. They see what I'm really bringing. And when someone like that walks away, dude, the bully or the person who is mean, the real bad one in that situation, everybody turns on them in that moment. Everybody's got a problem with that one because they know. Everybody knows the truth. And not a single person even has. Some people do go say something. Maybe sometimes they don't. But awareness. Awareness is the key to the door of inquiry. If you're always asking about something, then be aware of those things happening around you. Other people aren't going to see it. They're not going to understand it because they're not studying it. A scientist in a lab and a doctor, they're going to be like a doctor, you know, that's helping people. Those two professionals, those two individuals, they're going to be speaking two different languages. They're going to have two different vocabulary fields. Yes, they're going to understand a lot of what the other is talking about, but that's not their specialty, so that's not what they're focused in keeping in mind and fresh and working with. I mean, the flavor, the emotion, the connection of love and I care, that has a completely different feeling from selling a product and I want your money kind of construct. And that's what I truly believe is the only way forward for humanity, is to move in a heart, love, consideration of being versus a money aspect of being. And you're powerful. You're very powerful for all that you've survived, for all that you've made it through. Well, you might be like, oh man, tell people off and I road rage and I do this and I do that. I'm not a good person. Yeah, well, look at the other people that you've seen that are 10 times worse than you. You're doing pretty powerful. Pretty powerful for surviving everything you survived. we all we all got rough edges after we get done in that struggle around individuals who are truly trying to lower our energy, trying to lower our ambitions. But once we get through that, every day is a different day, every day is a new day. Every day we can improve that painting, that of how we see ourselves, not necessarily on the outside, but on the inside. Like really, my clothes and my garb and my outwardly aesthetics, they're only representation of my mind and my emotions, my experiences. I see birds flying. They're like hopping towards each other and stuff. But in so much dance and so many stories around the world, like dance tells a story. It's telling a story. In ancient times, they sung a song, they danced the dance, they told a story. It reminded you of some things that are important in life. Like the update of things to pay attention to for the new season, for the new coming season. Not just the physical weather, but the spiritual weather. And that spiritual weather is like emotional context. It's emotional things that even though we're completely separate and don't know each other and in different situations, we wind up going through some type of similar experience in which we have some type of mental or emotional spiritual growth. And it's almost like we get our updates exactly how we need to get them individually, each one of us. And I think that's a beautiful thing, that as each one grows, as their mind opens up to see a wider range of omens, of signs, that more and more messages from the divine realm can come through, that more people can bring in messages such as living Nikola Tesla's bringing in inventions and technologies into the hands of people that are going to use it to benefit humanity. Like at the beginning, when I was months ago, I would say about 6 months ago, I was explaining how to open portals with stones and talismans and how to do everything. There's videos. You can scroll back on my shorts and on the short videos and other playlists. And it's what it is. It's really to connect, to deliver wisdom to people who can actually do something with it. And in an age where we can actually share these things and start to move forward in a progressive rate that leaves the old world behind. If we are looking at humanity on a moral ground level of their growth, we have certainly been in the dark ages, and it's time to come into the light. It's time to embrace the sun and open up to divine wisdom of being able to allow humanity to live what humanity could become if they simply did not have the worries of food and a roof, like a home and food and water. If those three concerns were taken care of, Imagine the amount of worrying that would cease. That amount of worrying would create a positive wave, a positive frequency across this planet. And so, to everybody out there helping people or helping the random stranger or doing the good deed or whatever it is that you do to send out positive energy to others, I applaud you. I thank you. Hmm. For the next, I don't know how many days, might be a couple of days, 2, 3 days, whatever the case. But it's pretty chilly in the morning, and to do my live streams, I'll be going outside, so I might wind up being an hour or two late, but I still intend on getting up and coming on and chatting and sharing a little bit of my day and my time with you. I enjoy that, and I thank you for being present. I thank you for being part of it. Thanks for participating in the chat log, and thank you to uh, our moderators for assisting and all of that good stuff. Uh, but yeah, Michigan. Yeah, like really, life can truly um, take quite the journey of a turn, and to me, that's an adventure. That's a real adventure, is being able to have those kind of ups and downs, those highs and lows. Survival, hey, that's that's the big thing. Survival with your heart intact, survival with who you are, survival that you didn't lose yourself or your life, and that's where we all come together. Is we've survived what we have. It's been a rough past. It hasn't been easy. It doesn't matter where you've fought or served, the time you've done, and the community you've been with. Humanity's been growing up together. That's the way I see it. That's for sure. Well, it was very good. I hope you had a happy Mother's Day, and to the mothers out there, especially, like, you change the lives of your children. You are the one who will never give up on your kiddo. There's some good dads out there, don't get me wrong, but at least for myself, it was my mother who did what she did in my life that instilled what it did in me. I ain't saying she perfect. I ain't saying she was the best of, but what she did and what she taught me and what she shared with me, and the ultimate thing is that she never gave up on me. Everybody around her told her to give up on me, but she did not give up on me. Watching these ducks fly in some circles, second, third, the second or third time. I did that. Two circles and flew out overhead. It's cool. But uh, but she never gave up on me. And I think that's the reality, is never giving up. Never giving up on someone. Yeah, they're having hard times. Yeah, we may be at a distance. Yeah, we may not be there for them to reach out to and grab a hold of that safety net so easily. But ultimately, we never took like, Mom never took her eye off of me. She always kept watching. She always made sure somehow, some way, I wasn't dead in a ditch. And if I needed her, she'd come find me wherever I was. And I find that God is very much the same. The angels, the divine that you believe in, very much the same. You may not see them, may not hear them, think they're there, but in our most worst times when we think we can't take it, like, somehow they show up and get us through. And we've seen those who didn't make it through, and that faith, that belief, divine mother, divine father, however you see your divine one that you follow, or family, or whatever the circumstances, whatever your faith is that calls you, that's what got us through. And in these days, it's time to share that light a little bit more and more and more and more. But I know I have not been on in an hour here, but it is pretty cold, and my toes are getting pretty cold. So I'm gonna call it a little early. We're gonna have a few early days for the next few days. Um, learning is beautiful right now. Animals, nature, peace, and if you see somebody stuck in a pile of chaos, you know, just remember, not my monkeys. Not my monkeys. People wind up earning where they are, and every place we go, I urge you to remember to recall that what you're living for every day, what you choose to live for. Me, I pursue love, peace, connection, family, and that's my spirit point. Every day I move forward in those thoughts and those constructs, no matter what the day was before. Clean slate today. We are starting fresh, but we are remembering everything that we have achieved and learned as well. So I love you, Donna De Kawai, and until we see you next time, stay warm, and make sure someone knows you love them. Oh, and if you want to reach out, if you want to interview, if you want to chat or have any questions or anything like that, feel free to send me a email to Setra, Setchra, Setra at yahoo.com. Donna De Kawai. Until we see you next time.